Guys, I just got off beautiful Lake Degray, had a wonderful day on a on-the-water lesson. And guys, in this video, I'm about to give a fishing report for Lake Degray, Hamilton, and Ouachita. I'm going to do this video series. It's my first one to do it. I'm going to do it for every 2 weeks. Guys, I've been on these lakes a lot this year on my guide trips and on-the-water lessons. And I feel like this would be a very good video for people that watch the channel, or, you know, instead of just getting the Arkansas game fishing report, you can check this video out. So I'm gonna do it every 2 weeks. I'm gonna go in depth on areas. I'm gonna talk about my baits. I got my baits right here. And so let me know in the comment if you like this video. So guys, Jimmy Easterling, the fishing coach, if it's your first time. I do a variety of videos on the channel. I do on the water videos with forward facing sonar. I do sit down tip videos. I do on the water videos. A lot, okay? I try to show y'all guys new ways to catch fish, and I go through the traditional ways as well. Welcome to the channel. Really quick, guys, I'm going to share this video. Is going to be brought to you by Futural Marine. Futural Marine has 4 stores across the state of Arkansas. Their base stores in Nashville. Hot Springs has the big one on Lake Hamilton as well. Guys, I'm right now sitting in a 2022 Triton 20T RX. Okay, it's a demo boat with Futural Marine. It is for sale. I'm going to put the information that down in the description, okay? Also, guys, I want to thank out to Generation 3 Tire Auto on Military. If you're looking for a good, affordable oil change, and they're going to knock you out, and it'll be a cheaper oil change. Some places like to raise them oil change prices up, but you want to go get one that's affordable, check them out. But also, they have tires that are going to be at an affordable price. 3rd generation family business. Okay, guys, let's get into the fishing report now. Okay, I'm going to do Degray first, since I was just at Degray, and I've been there the last 2 weeks the most. Then I'm going to go Hamilton, and guys, I've been on Hamilton a lot lately, like a lot. I mean, I'm almost sick of seeing the lake. Talk about the weather real fast. I meant to, okay guys, let's talk about the weather real fast. The weather's been inconsistent, which has made the fishing inconsistent, okay? We needed to get cold, all right? We needed to get cold. The fish right now don't know what's going on. Water temps, you know, I saw today 68 to 71, and we needed to get cool so these fish will feed. Lake Degray right now is 7 foot low. There is grass that's matted, and somewhere there is a bite that you can flip the grass, okay, with your Texas creature baits. You can go flip a punch bait in there, throw a frog. I've not done that yet due to Degray have been, excuse me, Degray has been forward facing lessons. So, but that bite is happening, okay? It's happening, all right? I'm just gonna let you know right now. But when it get colder, I'm gonna get on that bite, okay? So, and then I'm gonna do Ouachita at the end, okay? So Degray right now. Degray, guys, is a different lake, of course, than the other two due to the hybrids. And the hybrids right now are getting after it. If you want to catch hybrids, okay, your topwater lures and your lipless crankbaits, a 1/4 ounce crankbait, little small crankbaits are good. But the number one thing to catch hybrids right now is a little George style bait. This is the little hammer. All my baits and tackles are going to be in the description, okay? This is the little hammer, okay? This is the 3/4 ounce. This right now is catching the hybrids for me the most. I'm not fishing for them long. We go look at the hybrids due to the forward-facing part of it and try to go and teach off that. But this guy is catching them, okay? I have a video coming out next week of us catching some. That's going to be on my channel, and you get to see the live scope footage and stuff. And then we went and caught largemouth after that, okay? But the little hammer is been the guy, and I'm fishing them over them groups of hybrids. I'm stroking it, reeling it, and killing it, and that thing's fluttering down and going up, and then they just hammer it, okay? But guys, the hybrids right now are on more the main lake for me, Mousa Creeks and Main Lake, okay? That's where I've seen them at the most, okay? Now let's talk about the largemouth. The spotted bass I found are on the Main Lake, okay? They're in groups, they're schooling, they're on some points, but most of those have been more open water fish. Catching them on a variety of topwaters, little LB topwaters, and then also the riser style bait. We'll go ahead and show you one. The riser style bait, if I can not get you out real quick. And then this is not the Jackal riser, by the way. This one is the 34 Customs riser, okay? Here's just a clear bodied one. I'll put their website in the description. You can get these guys at the Jumpers Bait and Tackle store. They're on 70 as well. I'm throwing out on 7.1 medium light NGX level series rod ice. It's also my Ping in the minnow rod, my little jig head minnow rod. This thing's bad to the bone, okay? So I'm using that for them spotted bass, and like I said, they're more on the points, main lakes, some of your main humps areas. If you see like acreage of schooling, those are the hybrids. I look for more of those little small pods to be those. Now the largemouth, guys, the largemouth are kind of spread out. There are some on main lake points. There are some in the back of creeks already, but they're using the grass. Okay, I'm catching them in grass, pulling them out with the riser. We're throwing the minnow at them as well. Throwing the minnow at them, and this is, I mean, you know, I've caught some of the hybrids with this as well. It's a little 1/4 ounce Queen Tackle Jig Head, the Strike King Baby Z2 has been kind of the minnow right now that we've been throwing there to catch them. And then also throwing the hover rig, okay? Throwing the hover rig to pull them out of the grass, okay? That's with the freeloader on there. And this one's getting better bites. The bigger minnows getting bigger bites, of course. And then also the credge. So they're in the grass right now, and like I said, there's other top waters, like little small poppers. The credge is one we've been throwing to pull them out. But the largemouth, if you find them, you find them. It just is what it is. When you don't find them, you don't. And like, there's not just one or two. Like, they're grouped up right now. So that's been kind of what for me. And like I said, the largemouth, it kind of depends on the area of the lake. There's one area of the lake, they're in back of creeks already. There's one area of the lake where they're still main lake. And when you find them, they're grouped up right now. Other things you can start thinking about, the jig. The jig, there's so much bait in like Degray. There's not as much bait as you think. So there's other factors. There's the swim jig, you know, it's going to get a big bite. Football jig on your rock points and your brush piles is going to try to trigger that big bite as well. So that's just some other tactics as well. So guys, now let's talk about Hamilton. Okay guys, so one thing with Hamilton is the fish have been getting a lot of pressure. It's a smaller lake, and you know, there's been a lot of there's been boats, and some of these fish have been in these areas due to the weather kind of staying inconsistent and consistent, because it's October and it's like I'm out here in shorts, but I should be in some colder gear. So the fish right now are kind of like stagnant, like, hey, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing that's been interesting about, one thing I'll say that's interesting about Hamilton is like, they've made a transition, but they're like, some have already made a transition back to areas, and some are still, they're kind of confused right now. But Hamilton has been a good lake to fish right now, and a good place to learn how to use forward facing and go out and catch fish as well, okay? Okay, Hamilton. I was out there a lot this summer, and from May through the summer, I was on this lake more than any of them. It's been incredible, guys. If you want to go learn forward facing, this is a lake to do. And Degray and Ouachita, but this one, man, it's been a blast. All my guys travel down from Missouri, Illinois, Texas. I appreciate it, man. I've had so many people come down to fish with me at Hamilton, and it's been fun. So right now, the fish. There are fish that have been schooling, which they're in groups and roaming. They're now starting to go back to your ledges. They're going back to the grass. They're going to the brush. There's still some fish just swimming around out there, though, and we're catching them with the jig head minnow. When they're high on the surface, I'm throwing the hover rig at them. When they're down deep, it's the minnow, okay? It's the old jig head minnow, as you guys hear it, okay? Also, when they're schooling, which they kind of are too, you have your top waters. We've actually gone back to the Zara spook and catch them, okay? We threw the riser and the credge. They've kind of gone back to the spook style baits. And then the other day I had someone throw a popper at them and was catching fish. So you can still throw those things as well. But the fish guys are still, they're working their way back in creeks, but there's some on the main lake, and the better fish I found were in the creeks, okay, in the back part of creeks. But then there's days they're on the front part of the creek. It's just they swim around and move. The weather is so inconsistent right now, and that's one thing that's made it tough, is it is so inconsistent. I should have brought that up earlier about the weather. Here I am talking about the weather now. But it's the weather. We need it to get cold. We need to get cold, and when it gets cold, it's going to be an Alabama rig bite, okay? It's going to be an Alabama rig bite, okay? So, okay, guys, let's talk about Lake Ouachita. Now, one thing about Ouachita, when I was on it last week, when I'm seeing it Ouachita, and let's talk about Ouachita. It's giant. We all know. Look at the map. It's huge. They do different parts. The fish do different things on different ends of the lake there, okay? And I was on the west end last week. If I really would like to get on the clear end and see how they're going to be, which I'm going to be out there on the clear end Friday. I have a trip out there Friday, so I'm going to get a report. I want to get kind of some more report there, and I want to kind of tell you what I think they're doing. So the west end, what I saw is the fish were relating to cover really well, and I've not seen that as much at the other two lakes. Now they have related to the grass really well to Degray. That's the cover, but Ouachita on that west end, they were relating to trees and brush piles really well. I'm talking, you find the brush pile with them, you're going to throw up there and catch 4 or 5 fish. And there was one time we caught 7 fish on 7 casts, on literally out of one brush pile. And there was like 40 of them there. I wish I could show you all the live scope footage. I don't have it, but there was like 40 of them there. So we only caught 5 or 6 of them. But saw some fish in trees at the mouth of creeks. When I was at Ouachita, the one thing I saw is there wasn't much schooling activity. I didn't see much at all. It's kind of sad by it. The fish in the trees we caught, they're in trees like in the mouth of a creek on that west end, off a point. They were in like 10 foot of water. The tree was in 60 though, but they were in 10. And we threw top waters to pull them out. Threw a soft plastic fluke as well, and we caught a couple out of them, and we found them in another tree, did the same thing. I did find a bunch of bait in one of the creeks, and there were whites and stripers around them, baby stripers and baby whites. But then way out in front of it, off of a rock rounded point, were spotted bass. We caught those. Doing the minnow. This was an offshore on the water lesson deal, and we did it with the minnow. It was the baby Z2 there as well on the quarter head, and they were all on the bottom, like they weren't suspended. They were on the bottom, and we were just throwing it down there, shaking it, and they were coming up and eating it. You could throw a jig down there and catch them, but once again, we were doing a lesson. We were watching them eat, and they ate really well, so we kept doing that. Now, what I've kind of been hearing on the central to eastern where there's the grass, that there are right now fish using that grass that's matted, and they're using the grass near the channel swings and near creek channels and deep water. You could go flip a worm and catch them. You can go throw a whopper plopper down the side of them, pull them out. So there's a variety of things there as well, but the fish that I saw were still mouth of creeks, main lake. They hadn't made that push back yet, and I checked a couple back of creeks on that west end. And so that's just kind of what I saw there, okay? Guys, let me know what you think about this. My first time doing the fishing report. I'm doing these videos every 2 weeks, kind of give you my reports of what has been going on out there. Appreciate you guys, and let me know what you think, and come back tomorrow and see me on the Fishing Coach YouTube channel.